Hello students, good morning. Students, as we are studying chapter 8, that is windstorms and cyclones. So this is the second part of this chapter. In this part, we will study about thunderstorm, formation of thunderstorm, precautions during thunderstorm, cyclone, formation of cyclone, tornado, the introduction from a tornado, safety measures and advanced technology for cyclone forecasting. So students, before starting this part, I just want to remind you that what we have studied in our previous video, first part of this chapter. In that part, we have studied about wind. We have studied about properties of air as air exerts pressure, air expands on heating. Then we have studied about how high speed wind accompanied by reduced air pressure means when wind speed increases, then air pressure decreases. Then we have studied about how to measure direction and speed of wind. Then how wind currents are generated due to uneven heating of earth. So in this part, first we will study about thunderstorm. So students, thunderstorm, you all are familiar with thunderstorms because many times during a storm, which bring heavy rain also, we hear a louder sound which comes from sky, which comes from cloud, and this sound is called thunder. We also see some bright flashes of lightning. So that's storm with thunder and lightning is called a thunderstorm. Means when storm is there, which is accompanied by, or we can say a storm with the thunder and lightning is called thunderstorm. So this thunderstorm is generally accompanied by heavy rain, and it produced by the dark cloud which form at low altitude in the atmosphere. This thunderstorm, it develops in hot and humid tropical areas as India. So as all of us know, how the formation of clouds takes place means when the weather is humid and temperature is rising. We all know that air molecules which carry moisture means water vapor with them, when they are heated just because of heat of sun, they become lighter in weight and they start rising up and they go upward higher and higher, and then they become cool, they get condensed and they form cloud. So when the weather is humid and there will be wind blowing, then clouds develop some electricity within them. Means some of the cloud get negatively charged and others get positively charged. So the oppositely charged means negatively and positively charged clouds get attracted towards each other in the sky and come close to each other. So when the oppositely charged clouds come close, the electrons from the negatively charged clouds move towards the positively charged clouds through the moist air. We all know negatively charged means electron rich and positively charged means electron deficient. So as we have studied in sixth class, that is the in the chapter of electricity, that electron always moves from negatively charged part to positively charged. So here also electron moves from negatively charged cloud towards the positively charged clouds through moist air. So as a result, lightning occur because when electrons move, they release some energy in the form of light. So lightning occur in the sky, which we can see as a flash of light. And when lightning occur, then a lot of heat energy is produced. So this heat energy heats up the air around it, means it heats the other air molecules in its surrounding. So heated air expands, as we know, we have studied that air expands on heating. So this heated air expands, compressing the cold air around it, and because of it a loud sound is also produced. So this louder sound is called thunder. And both things, lightning and thunder, they occur almost simultaneously, but we hear the thunder after a lapse of time. This is just because, as we know, the speed of light is much more than that of sound. So this is all about formation of thunderstorm. Then we can see next topic is consequences of lightning. So lightning causes heavy damage to the animals, means if it is unusual lightning, then it can cause heavy damage to the animals and people caught in a thunderstorm if they got stuck in that condition. It can cause fire and it can destroy buildings. It can also destroy so many electronic equipment such as television and computers also. And lightning can burn trees and or other combustible articles, objects. It can cause a serious fire, and it happens due to intense heat produced by the flow of huge amount of charge between the clouds and the other objects. And it can also bring heavy rain, because at that time heavy rain will also be there, so it can bring heavy rain, and which can cause very heavily flood conditions in that case. So it can damage houses and properties also. So these are the consequences of lightning. Then precautions during thunderstorm. So we should take some precautions during thunderstorm to protect ourselves from lightning. So first is to not take shelter under an isolated tree. If you are in a forest, take shelter under a small tree and do not lie on the ground. As you know that trees are also very good conductor of electricity, so it can attract electricity towards it. Then don't take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end, because metallic, all of you know metals, they are good conductor, so it can act as a conductor for lightning and it can harm us. Then don't sit near a window, open garages, storage sheds, metal sheds, they are not safe to take shelter. Then a car or bus is a safe place to take shelter because its metal body can conduct lightning to the earth easily without harming us. And if you are in water, then get out of it and go inside a building. So these are the precautions we should take during thunderstorm. So students, our next topic is cyclone. I think you all have heard this name, cyclone, because cyclone is one of the most destructive natural disaster. And in India, cyclones originate in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea in the months of October and November. And more than 100 cyclones originate every year in the world. And cyclones that originate in the Indian Ocean have caused some of the greatest disasters in history, and they causes so many destructions. They cause so great damage to crops and settlements and human lives also. They strong winds, they can uproot trees, they destroy electricity and telephone lines. So cyclone is one of the most destructive natural disaster. So what is cyclone? Actually, the weather condition consisting of a system of high speed winds, and it revolves. It revolves because of the force exerted by the rotation of earth. So the weather condition consisting of a system of high speed winds revolving around a central area of low pressure, it is called cyclone. Means we can say a huge revolving storm caused by a very high speed winds blowing around a central area of very low pressure in the atmosphere, it is called cyclone. It is formed over warm seawater and it is about 10 to 15 kilometer high. And the center position means the center of the cyclone, which is having a very calm area due to very low pressure. The central position, the center is called eye of the cyclone, and the diameter of the eye of the cyclone varies from 10 to 30 kilometers. Sometime it can be 100 kilometer or more. And the eye of the cyclone is the region which is completely calm, means which is completely free of cloud and having very light winds. And around this calm and clear eye, means around this low pressure area, there is a cloud region of about 150 kilometer in size, and their wind speed is very high, having 150 to 250 kilometer per hour speed, and it is having very thick clouds with very heavy rain. So students, next we will see formation of cyclones, means how are cyclones formed. So some factors as temperature, humidity, wind speed, then rotation of earth, wind direction, all these factors contribute in the development of a cyclone. And in this we will see some special terms as fronts and cold and warm fronts, what are polar fronts also. After that we will see the formation of cyclones. So students, as we are knowing some important factors like humidity, temperature, wind speed, wind direction and rotation of earth, they contribute a lot in the development of cyclones. So students, in general, the air masses that form over the land, they are dry, and those that form over the ocean, they are humid. And secondly, we can say the air masses that form in the northern region, they are cold, and that formed in the region which are close to the equator, that air masses are warm. So as that air masses start moving, they meet each other, but the air which are present in these air masses, they meet, but they do not mix easily. So they do not mix easily, and there will be formation of a boundary between the two air masses which separates both air masses. So the boundary which separates these air masses, these boundaries are called fronts. Now two type of air masses are there, cold air mass and warm air mass. So when cold air mass invades the warmer air mass, there will be formation of cold front which have some clouds which can bring heavy rain. And when the warmer air mass pushes into the area of cold air, means when warm air invades the region of cold air, then there will be formation of front end which contains light cloud, means that clouds which are present there, they can bring gentle rain. Now the boundary between the cold means northern air mass and warm southern air mass, means now the boundary in between the two, these two, this boundary is called polar front. So due to the difference in temperature between land and sea surface, there's a there's a generation of a small wave in the polar front. So now we will see how formation of a cyclone takes place. So as we know, the sun's heat, it heats up the seawater too much, and the seawater become warm, and the moist air, means moisture means which consists of water vapor. So when seawater become hot, it will evaporated, and the air which is present there, it can hold that water vapor. So moist and warm air, it will start rising up in the atmosphere very rapidly from the hot sea surface. Now, this creates area of very low pressure, causing cool air to rush in to fill that empty space. How? When the hot air molecules, means water vapor, which become hot, it will be lighter in weight, then it will start rising up. That thing you have studied already. So when it will start moving up, obviously from that place there will be low pressure region. So all you know that if there will be low pressure region, and around that low pressure region there will be high pressure region. So as we all know that air always moves from its high pressure region to low pressure region. So the all air around the low pressure region, which are cold also, so that cold air starts rushing into that place in that low pressure area which become empty. So that cool air rush into that empty space to fill that space. Now as the warm and moist air, means the water vapor, it rises high in the atmosphere, it gets cooled, and the water vapor present in it, it get condensed to form thick clouds, and these clouds are called sometimes it is called thunder clouds also. So when that water vapor they condensed, in the process of condensation also they release lot of energy, they release lot of heat in the atmosphere. Means water vapor when they rise high in the atmosphere they get cool and they release heat energy and they get condensed to form clouds or thunder clouds. So the heat released by the condensation of water vapor in the atmosphere again warms the air around it. Means the heat energy which is released by the condensation of water, it again start heating, it again start warming the surrounding air, and the warm air rises higher in the atmosphere again causing a low pressure area, and more air again start rushes to take that place of warm rising air. Means that air, there will be cool air which comes to take that place of warm rising air. Now this process is repeated again and again, making more and more air to rise up higher and higher in the atmosphere and also form more and more thick clouds all around. Now the constant rotation of earth on its axis, it exerts a force on the rapidly rising column of air or wind, and the force exerted by the rotation of earth makes the high speed winds revolve in the form of spiral. Means it in the form of spiral moving upward with a great force and create a tunnel of very low pressure inside. So the swirling wind move faster and faster, forming huge circles. So we can say the weather condition consisting of a system of high speed wind revolving around a central area of low pressure. In the center it is low pressure area, and around the center there is a high speed revolving wind. So this weather condition consisting of a system of high speed wind revolving around a central area of very low pressure, it is called a cyclone. And the area of low pressure at the center of the cyclone, it is called eye. Now once formed, the cyclone may remain in one place for many hours or it may move with a great speed. Then a large area of low pressure often brings rain and unsettled weather for days as it moves across the land. And the end of a cyclone comes quickly if a cyclone moves over the land, because in that place it is no longer receiving that heat energy and moisture from the warm sea water. So at that time the cyclone become finished. Now some another names of cyclones, as in Southeast Asia it is called typhoon, and in North America it is called hurricane. Actually the cyclones that originate and that travel in the tropics, they are called tropical cyclones, and these tropical cyclones they are very severe. Hurricanes and typhoons, they are the tropical cyclones. Now the cyclones that originate and travel in the mid latitude, they are called extratropical cyclones. And these extratropical cyclones, they are usually very larger, but they are less severe than tropical cyclones. And the cyclones, they are generally move from west to east at a rate of a few hundred kilometers per day. And tropical cyclones, generally they move faster from east to west. Now we will see destruction caused by cyclones. So cyclones are the greatest storms on the earth which can be very destructive. It is very dangerous. It causes widespread destruction and loss of life. In coastal area it is very destructive. It produces very extremely high speed winds by lifting the seawater several meters high and by bringing torrential rain. So it caused a lot of damage of life and property. The strong winds in a cyclone, they push the water from the sea towards the shore even when it is hundred of kilometers away. The water waves produce cause of severe flood. Then water is lifted to a height of about 3 to 12 meters by the low pressure eye of the cyclone. It appears like a wall of water which enters the low lying coastal area and which cause very severe floods. Then high speed wind, it can uproot trees, electricity poles, roofs of buildings, all communication system. It damage houses also. Then it reduces the fertility of soil by washing away the top fertile soil. The top layer of the soil, that is a horizon, it is very fertile, so it is get washed away by the heavy flood. Then the heavy and continuous rainfall causes flood and worsen the situation in the already flooded area. And the cyclone flood caused by means the flood that which is caused by cyclone. It also pollute drinking water, means it can reduce the whole water source, and drinking this polluted water spread very infectious diseases, waterborne diseases like typhoid and dysentery also. And it destroys railway track, it wash away vehicles, damage houses, drown people and animals, and damage crops, and causing so many loss, very great loss of life and property. So students, next topic is tornado. So as the word tornado, it is formed by the merging of two words. That is, first one is Latin word tomere, which means to turn, and one Spanish word tornado, whose meaning is thunderstorm. And this tornado is also called as twisters and whirlwind. So tornado is a dark funnel shaped structure, means funnel shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. Most of the tornadoes are weak, but some of them are very, very destructive also. And these tornadoes only last for a few minutes and are on the ground. They are of few kilometers. But a violent tornado can travel at a speed of about 3 kilometers per hour. So, tornado is a violent storm with a column of rapidly rotating wind having the appearance of a dark funnel shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. So, before a tornado starts, a large thundercloud, means big thick cloud, appear in the sky, and once the area of the thunderstorm, means thundercloud, becomes dark and dense, the air in this area is rotating very quickly, and a funnel shaped cloud begins to form and extend downwards to the ground, means it starts forming and it extends downwards towards the ground. And the diameter of the narrow end of a tornado. Narrow end means you can see the image of the tornado. So the narrow end means which the end which touches the ground can be as small as a meter and as large as a kilometer, or sometimes more than a kilometer. And due to very low pressure in it, the funnel of a tornado sucks dust, debris, and everything else near its base, means whatever come near the base of tornado, it sucks that thing and throw them out near the top. So a tornado moves across the surface of land or sea during very high speed. Uh, Very high speed wind will be there, and a tornado forms over a sea. It sucks up the water, and it looks like a giant gray snake, which is often known as a water sprout. So now we will see the destructions caused by tornado. So tornadoes are they are very destructive natural phenomena. They can uproot trees, they can uproot electric poles and telephone poles, and they can disrupt power supply and telecommunication. They lift people and vehicles from the ground, and they throw them hundreds of meters away, which can cause the death of many people and damage to vehicles. Then tornado can cause very extensive damage to buildings. As it passes over the building, it sucks up the air from across the building. So these are the destructions caused by tornado. Then we will see the protection from a tornado, means how we can protect from tornado. So we should take the following precautions. Some are the precautions which are given here. So first one, take a shelter in a room which is deep inside the house, having no window, or we can take shelter in a deep basement also. Then it is better to shut windows and take shelter under a table or workbench where debris cannot reach, means debris thrown by tornado, that debris should not be, we should not be in contact of that debris, because they come at a very high speed and they can harm us. Then when a person, suppose a person is in a vehicle, he or she should get out of the vehicle and go to a ditch or any low lying area. Then we should keep away from falling electric wires. So these are the protection from a tornado. Then safety measures. So safety measures we should take, means that safety, in some safety measures that should be taken by the government to safeguard against cyclones are, the first one is establishment of a cyclone forecast and warning system, that this every government should have this. Then setting up of a rapid communication system to give information about cyclones in advance. Then construction of cyclone shelter in the cyclone prone area. Then proper administrative arrangement for moving people fast to safer places when the cyclone hit. Before that, these safety measures of government should have. Then some other things are there that should people can follow. Then we should never ignore the warnings issued by meteorological department, and these departments issue that warnings on TV, radio, or newspapers. So we should always follow these instructions, these warnings issued by that departments. Then we should make necessary arrangements to shift the household goods, domestic, if any domestic animals are there, vehicles are there, so we should have any necessary arrangements to shift that things. Then we should not drive on flooded road, at flood may damage the roads also. Then always the emergency phone numbers like police, fire brigade and medical centers, all these phone numbers should be kept ready always. Then precautions to be taken in a cyclone hit area. So do not drink water in a cyclone hit area. Why? Because that cyclone can bring heavy rain, it can cause heavy flood also, and flood can contaminate the water, which can cause waterborne diseases like typhoid and dysentery. So do not drink water in a cyclone hit area. Then always store drinking water for emergencies. So water is very essential, so always you should store drinking water. Then do not touch wet switches and fallen power lines, because they can conduct electricity and they can harm us. Then you should not go out for the sake of fun, just for fun purpose. We should not go outside during cyclone. Then do not pressurize the rescue force by making undue demands for any unreasonable demands. Then cooperate and help your neighbors and friends. Then advanced technology for cyclone forecasting. So a cyclone warning is issued 24 hours in advance, but nowadays satellite and radars help to warn the cyclone alert or cyclone watch 48 hours in advance. The message is broadcast every hour or half an hour when a cyclone is nearer the coast. And several national and international organizations cooperate to monitor the cyclone related disasters. So, this is all about your eighth chapter. This chapter is now completed. Now, some understanding based questions are there. First one is, what are the another names of tornado? Then would you like to buy a house having windows but no ventilators? You have to give reasons for your answer. Then what is the eye of a cyclone? How does a thunderstorm form? And why we should not use an umbrella with a metallic end during thunderstorm? So try to find out answers of these questions and try to solve the questions, objective type questions given in your chapter also. Thank you, class.